One foggy morning, 30,000 samurai died in just 4 hours. Not in a movie, not in a legend, in real life. October 21st, 1600. A small valley in Japan called Sekigahara. This battle didn't just decide a war, it decided the next 250 years of Japanese history. No civil wars after this. No samurai armies marching across the country. Nothing. So what happened on that foggy morning? Why did samurai start killing each other before the battle even began? Let's go back to 1600. Japan is broken. For 40 years, civil war had torn Japan apart. Warlords known as daimyo fought each other for land and power. Samurai killed samurai. In 1598, the most powerful man in Japan, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, died. He left behind a 5-year-old son and 5 regents to rule until the boy grew up. One of those regents was Tokugawa Ieyasu, 60 years old, cunning, patient, hungry for power. The other regents did not trust him. They saw what Tokugawa was doing, secret alliances, marrying his daughters into powerful families, taking castles that did not belong to him. The leader of the anti-Tokugawa faction was Ishida Mitsunari, not a great warrior, but a brilliant organizer. He despised Tokugawa. Mitsunari sent letters to every warlord. Tokugawa Ieyasu is a traitor. Join me. Stop him before it is too late. The country chose sides. West Japan followed Ishida Mitsunari. East Japan followed Tokugawa Ieyasu. War was certain. By October 1600, both armies were on the move. Tokugawa led the Eastern Army, roughly 75,000 men. Samurai from the eastern provinces, loyal, disciplined, battle-hardened. Ishida led the Western Army, also about 75,000 men. But many of his warlords did not truly support him. Some were secretly talking to Tokugawa. Others waited to see who would win. Mitsunari had one advantage. He controlled the young heir of Toyotomi Hideyoshi. In theory, he was fighting to protect the rightful ruler of Japan. The two armies met near a village called Sekigahara, a narrow valley surrounded by mountains, a crossroads that controlled the main highway to Kyoto. Mitsunari arrived first. He placed his 75,000 men on the high ground, among the hills overlooking the plain. From there, he could see the entire battlefield. He had more artillery, better defensive positions, and several of Tokugawa's supposed allies had secretly promised to betray him. Mitsunari thought victory was guaranteed. He was wrong. The night before the battle, heavy rain fell. By dawn, thick fog covered the valley. Tokugawa arrived at midnight. His men were exhausted, but Tokugawa saw the fog and understood its value. In the fog, Mitsunari could not see what Tokugawa was doing, could not see where he was placing his men, could not signal his allies. At 4 a.m., scouts reported the Western Army was in position. Tokugawa ordered the advance. By 7 a.m., the fog began to lift. The two armies saw each other for the first time. 80,000 samurai stood in perfect formation, flags in the wind, armor glinting, the ground trembling. No one spoke. Mitsunari ordered his arquebusiers, samurai with primitive guns, to open fire. The Battle of Sekigahara had begun. The Western Army struck first. Mitsunari's front lines charged down the hill toward Tokugawa's center. Samurai crashed into samurai, steel hitting steel, men screaming, horses crying. Neither side could break the other. Then Mitsunari activated his trap. He sent a signal to the warlords who had promised to betray Tokugawa. Nothing happened. The traitors did not move. They sat on the hills and watched, waiting to see who was winning. Mitsunari sent a second signal, a third. Nothing. He was being betrayed by his own betrayal plan. Tokugawa saw the hesitation. He ordered his arquebusiers to fire into the confused Western lines. Then he sent a message to the traitors. Join me now, and I will reward you. Stay there, and I will destroy you next. The traitors made their choice. 10,000 samurai from the Western Army suddenly turned their swords on their former allies. The betrayal collapsed Mitsunari's entire flank. Within minutes, the Western Army was surrounded. What followed was not a battle. It was a massacre. The Eastern Army pushed the Western Army into a narrow pocket. Samurai had nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Some fought to the death, others threw down their weapons. Many were cut down where they stood. By midday it was over. 30,000 samurai lay dead, most from the Western army. Ishida Mitsunari fled, captured 3 days later, hiding in a farmer's shed. He was executed in Kyoto. Tokugawa Ieyasu had won. The Battle of Sekigahara was the largest samurai battle in Japanese history, but its real importance came after. Within 3 years, Tokugawa named himself shogun, the military ruler of Japan. He moved the capital to a small fishing village called Edo. Today, we call it Tokyo. The Tokugawa shogunate lasted 250 years, no civil wars, no samurai armies fighting each other. That peace came from Sekigahara. The samurai class did not disappear, but they stopped fighting. Many became administrators, bureaucrats, tax collectors. The Battle of Sekigahara was the last great battle. After that, Japan turned inward, closed its borders, froze itself in time. And it all started on a foggy morning in October 1600 in a small valley called Sekigahara.